red rifles, psychotic pink bunnies, yellow eyes, and a decapitated duck. No, this isn't a horror movie. It is, in fact, one of the all-time classic Christmas movies, 80s style, in the 40s. So grab your jackets, mittens, and galoshes as we head to Indiana looking for some ho-ho-hos on this all-new episode. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and welcome to Totally 80s and 90s Recall. This is a podcast where we take a look at everything the memorable decades of the 1980s and 90s had to offer, from music and movies to television and pop culture. If you're new to the show, we're so excited that you found us, and we promise you'll have an awesome time. And for our returning listeners and subscribers, it's great to have you back. I am one of your hosts, David, joined as always by someone who still loves the glow of electric sex in the window. It's my good friend, Rob.
I do love the glow of electric sex in the window.
I know.
Yeah,
I've been to your house.
Yep.
You got a lot of sex laying around.
Well, hey, what I do, what I do in my own
That's my
time
personal
is
business.
my personal business,
and I would be happy if you stay out of it.
That's right. Hey, with Christmas only days away, I wanted to take a few minutes to remind us all that the Christmas season is an opportunity each year when we all act a little nicer. We smile a little easier. We cheer a little more. On Christmas Day, for a couple hours out of the whole year, we are the people that we always hoped we'd be. It's a miracle. It's a miracle because it happens every Christmas Eve, and we don't want to waste that miracle. On behalf of the Total 80s and 90s Recall team, I want you to know that we think you have to do something. You have to take a chance. You have to get involved. There are people that are having trouble making their miracle happen. There are people that don't have enough to eat. There are people that are cold. You can go out and say hello to these people. You can take an old blanket out of the closet and say, here. You can make them a sandwich and say, oh, by the way, here. And if you give, then it can happen. Then the miracle can happen to you. It's not just the poor and the hungry. It's everybody who needs this miracle. And it can happen this Christmas for all of you. If you believe in this spirit thing, or if you don't, the miracle will happen. And then you'll want it to happen again tomorrow and the day after that and every day after that. You won't be one of those bastards who say Christmas is once a year and it's a fraud. It's not. It can happen every day. You just need to want that feeling. And if you like it, you want it, you'll get greedy for it. You'll want it every day of your life, and it can happen to you. I believe in it. And I'm pretty sure that we believe it's going to happen to all of you out there too. I know I'm ready for it, and it's great. It's a good feeling. Maybe this is an opportunity for all of you to feel better than you have in a long time. I speak for Dave and I when I say, have a Merry Christmas, everybody.
That's awesome. Very inspirational. You could have said that to Kurt, too, but that's okay.
Well,
just Dave and I.
Well, it was going to be a little Christmas surprise.
A Christmas surprise.
We have them wrapped in a little bow.
We do.
Yeah.
Just pull it up, and he pops out of the cake or wherever he comes
just wearing
from.
A bow.
Yeah. Well,
and
the
I
only
say,
thing,
God bless us.
God bless us, everyone. Yes. I was going to say the only thing I have for your hello is feed me, Seymour.
No,
yes. So there you go. All right. Well, since it's the holiday season, we, as Rob just said, have a present for our listeners. Also joining us in the studio today, some people's favorite film buff. I haven't met them, but they're there. He loves sticking his tongue on stuff. The Recall movie hound. It is, of course, Kurt.
Ooh, thank you very much. I'm here again. Please do not unwrap me. I would like to stay fully clothed.
You've never said that out loud.
That is true.
That's fine.
That is true. My wife has told me to stay clothed, but
Yes.
that's about it.
Yeah, that doesn't work most of the time. So, well, as we said in the opening, it is the holiday season. Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, all of it, whatever you celebrate out there. Hope you're having a great time. Are you guys excited for the upcoming holiday festivities?
Well, of course. I've got my 4 Christmas trees up.
Yes.
My wife has put me to work.
Yeah,
the lights are up. It's
You have a lot of chores when it comes to Christmas time.
I really do.
Your whole
You
house.
already have them up, really?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
They were up after what, Halloween?
Yes, because we put the Halloween decorations away. And it's we don't want to just put up things for like 3 weeks or
we
2
don't want
weeks and then have to
Thanksgiving
take it all down again.
decorations.
So we go straight to Christmas.
Thanksgiving is literally the stepbrother of holidays. Like it's just like we take down Halloween, we go to Christmas, forget about the turkey. Nobody cares.
Yeah, we haven't even started. So.
No, you
except
don't.
for the lovely lights behind
in
you.
the studio.
Oh, I got out here and did the studio. You show where my priorities are at.
As always, your wife asked you to do something, and where you're at, you're in the studio.
You know, we
decorating.
we have a staff that could have done, the decorations. I mean, we don't pay Kip much, but it'd be nice if he did something. So.
Oh, but he's got all in their head. He's doing this undermining thing.
Undermining, yes. Well, the studio is decorated. It looks lovely, very festive. The whole team is in place. So Rob
smells like cinnamon.
Smells like cinnamon. I don't know, but we'll go with that.
Okay.
So what are we doing for today's episode?
We are talking about the holiday classic, A Christmas Story.
Oh, are we excited for this?
Yes, this is a good one.
This is a good one.
It is a holiday favorite in my household.
Yeah.
I would say that's a lot of households. So, well, this is an all-time classic for us 80s kids, 90s kids, probably anyone around that generation. It's the only Xmas movie I know that gets played for 24 straight hours on TBS every year. Mm-hmm. They should play Fred Claus a little more often, but I'll let that go. So it's great. It's got some street cred, Rob. I actually remember seeing this for the first time in school. I didn't see it in a theater or rent it. The Friday before Christmas break, we would get pizza and watch this movie in elementary school. So, in fact, I'd say from 4th to 6th grade, that happened every year.
You watched it in school?
Yeah, they wheeled in the little cart. The teacher put it on, and
wow.
First time I saw it was in class. So,
I don't. Yeah.
The cart would come in, the TV on it. The AV Club took a break from reviewing all those TV theme show songs.
The AV Club. No, yeah, and I don't remember when it's just always been. It's just always. It's
I
just
actually
always
don't.
Been. I don't remember when we started watching it.
I have no memory of watching this with my parents or at home. My parents have no tie to this movie for me, and so I would watch it basically at school. A couple friends, I think, watched it from time to time, but the reality is I didn't watch it much. And then as I got older, I started watching it more.
Yeah,
it would come on TBS, and then it became like a staple. Like you said, it's a staple in our house. We have a rotation of holiday movies. This is in there. Although I will say my kids don't love this movie as much as the wife and I love this movie.
Yeah.
There'll be times where they'll be like, that's the movie we could skip. They won't skip Elf. They won't skip some others. But if they're like, well, I got a new toy or I got a new video game or I got something, you guys watch Christmas Story. I'll go do this.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe they just don't find it as exciting.
Yeah, my kids.
Maybe it's too dated for them.
Yeah, the nostalgia doesn't hit for them.
Yeah.
Like it does for us.
I don't know. Yeah, my kids would come in while I was getting ready, and I watched this several times, and they would just leave the room. They were like, "Oh, you're watching this?"
Yeah.
They weren't excited about it.
I don't think the jokes land quite the same way for them as they do for us. Mm-hmm. But they were jokes we laughed at when we were 8, 9 years old. So now we remember that. Mm-hmm. And for them, their jokes equate to like Elf and movies like that. Mm-hmm. So this one I would say is not as lively as the Christmas Vacations and the Elves. Mm-hmm. It's more, I guess, subtle humor. Is that right?
I guess, yeah.
It's not right. There's not a ton of, it's not Chevy Chase falling off a ladder or, things flying through windows or just the overall what Elf is doing, lingerie, all these other.
Yeah. Wow.
So, it's more of a, like, it's the family jokes and things like that. Like, our kids don't know what it's like to have to fix a furnace.
Right.
So that joke doesn't land very well,
I know.
Going out Christmas tree hunting. My kids don't know what that's like. We haven't gone Christmas tree.
Take the box out of the garage.
Yeah, so maybe it just doesn't feel the same to them, like all that. So, but yeah, they will definitely skip it. We don't skip it. We always still watch it. Mm-hmm. I think Christmas Day is our Christmas Story destination. The wife and I always try to watch it on Christmas Day.
Oh,
yeah. But, and we own it, so we watch that. I mean, you watch the TBS one. It's one of those movies you can just pick it up, and if you missed the opening, you just watch from that, and then you'll pick the opening right back up on TBS right at the end of it. So,
well, you made a comment today. You said, "Yeah, I don't really even need to watch it."
Well, I don't at this point.
You just know. it. Most people know it.
It's probably in a top 5 of a movie I've seen the most times.
I was gonna say that later, but I was gonna say I think it is the movie I've seen the most in my life.
I don't think it's the movie I've seen the most. I've seen a couple others a lot of times.
I'm not a big movie guy, but this is one I've seen.
I'm going to say it's probably the one I've seen the most in probably the last 10 years. Just because my wife, it's the only way she'll come sit next to me.
Oh, nice.
At home is I'll put it on and it's
Well, that was a hot pee.
Hot pee.
God, those hard peas, man. Gotta stay away.
It's one of the few times where no matter what she's doing, if she hears the movie, she'll be like, "Okay, I'll be down in a second.
Oh,
I'll come over and watch it with you."
there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
But if you're watching Yoga Hosers,
Yoga hosers.
she's not getting on the couch.
She's staying away.
I gotcha. All right. That
Tusk,
could become.
she's not a big Tusk
that
fan.
Could be, oh, no one should be a Tusk fan. That's for a different day. So, all right. Well, we triple dog dare you to stay right there where you are as we celebrate the best time of the year, rewinding the tape back to check out A Christmas Story. You know, that really is a great opening theme song. It doesn't get played enough. Like, that should get played on the radio outside, but the only time you hear it's for the movie. So somebody made a great rendition of that, and it just doesn't get the attention I believe it deserves. So, well, all right, you two, what would make for a great Christmas holiday season? You're immediately stumped?
Well, no,
All right, your answers are all bad. The answer is
Please tell us.
totally 80s and 90s recall, of course. So if you haven't done so already, take
see
1
what you're doing
second,
there. That's
hit
clever.
the subscribe button, share it with a friend. We promise if you do, we'll explain to you why the carpets are all wet, since Todd is completely clueless. All right, but Rob and I know the secret, and we will let you know. So,
Not a finger!
not a. I like that you two were genuinely trying to think of the best gift for the holiday season.
I was.
You
trying to-
are
well,
not good at these takes and terrible at selling our show. All right. I'll let you know that right now. So, well, with that, before we discuss A Christmas Story, we like to provide you with all the important info for, and as usual, the Hound will guide us on that journey. So take it away, Kurt.
Ooh, thank you. All right, A Christmas. Oh, here we go again. Ooh. He's got Kip and the boys are
I
hot
know.
butting it today.
Yeah, they're on it today.
They're on it.
That's
All righty.
it.
Let's see if it lasts the whole show.
They're overcompensating.
Yeah, he'll wander off at some point.
That's right. All right, A Christmas Story is based on Gene Shepard's book, In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash. It was a collection of semi-autobiographical short stories that Shepard wrote for Playboy magazine during the 60s. So, see, ladies, we did read the articles.
We did.
I don't know if we do now. I don't think it's a magazine anymore. It's just online only.
Yeah.
So I've been told. All right. Christmas Story was released on November 18th, 1983. So I was 3 years old. It had a budget of just $3 million and made only $19 million at the box office. It stars Melinda Dillon, Darren McGavin, Peter Billingsley, and Ian Petrella. And it was narrated by Gene Shepard. It's widely considered a holiday classic. It's been shown in a marathon annually, like we've talked about. It started on TNT in 1997, and then TBS picked it up in 2004. It's called The 24 Hours of A Christmas Story, consisting of 12 consecutive airings. So it's every 2 hours.
Wow.
Good math.
They do it. Yeah, thank you.
Sharp math.
I'm an educator. I'm edumacated. No,
Come from a house of learned doctors.
That's right. There is one doctor in my family. Christmas Story has a Rotten Tomato score of 89 and an audience score of 88. So just about everyone loves this movie. And if you don't, I don't think I can trust you.
Oh, good one.
That's right. So now, Rob, with all that information that I painstakingly researched,
Yeah.
please tell us about the movie.
Well, I'm glad you painstakingly researched it because I took mine right off the back of the video box.
That's your new thing now. So I am
Was
interested
it the
in this.
VHS or the DVD?
I got
I
it.
even found it. I went on and looked at it. So at the top, I will tell you, it says, this is a quote from the Los Angeles Weekly. This is from the back of a period correct video that would have come out in
Perfect.
83. Quote says, a big warm-hearted teddy bear of a film you'll want to hug. Eh?
do.
And it says, the Christmas spirit soars to life in this hilarious holiday gem. With sly and gentle satire, this delightful film paints a jaunty Rockwell portrait of middle America, all at once amusing, provoking, and heartwarming, says the Hollywood Reporter. In a small 1940s Indiana town, 9-year-old Ralphie Parker, played by Peter Billingsley, dreams of a perfect Christmas morning complete with the ultimate holiday gift, a genuine Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot Lightning loader range model air rifle. But when both his gruffly lovable father, played by Darren McGavin, and doting mother, Melinda Dillon, respond with the patent, "No, you'll only shoot your eye out," Ralphie must pull out all the stops in his effort to attain his dreams. With its genuine feeling of family warmth, that was Variety that said that, A Christmas Story is truly funny for kids and grown-ups alike, says Leonard Maltin.
Ooh.
An uplifting tale of determination and triumph over seemingly unconquerable odds, this is a film with a heart so pure that only Scrooge could dislike it, says the Los Angeles Weekly.
You had some review stuff in there. Did you check out what Siskel and Ebert thought about it?
No, it probably wasn't good.
Whoa, what?
Well, because it didn't do well early on. That's what I found.
Okay.
It didn't. It was initially a bomb.
Okay. Well, you mentioned in there, this came out in 1983. One of the reasons we're featuring this on our first holiday episode is it is the 40-year anniversary.
That's nuts.
Of when it debuted.
40
so I would have been 7. You would have been 6.
6.
You would have been 3. Perfect.
Just a wee lad.
Just a wee lass.
Just a wee lad, probably still weeing.
Running around in his knickers.
Okay.
All right. Well, and so the time of year of the movie, I think, is up for discussion. So I'm not sure that they ever specify exactly when it's supposed to be, but I think you're in a roundabout zone. The Bears-Packers game referred to was in 1941. The Little Orphan Annie decoder came out in 1940.
Yep.
And the calendar in the kitchen has December 1st on a Friday, which was in 1939.
Yeah.
My wife always disputes that one because she's like, well, we could have just left the calendar up and not gotten a new calendar. So I think, but let's just go. I think it's between 39 and 41. And The Wizard of Oz had just come out, according to the show, and that was 39 or 40, right?
And the Look magazine was 1937.
Oh, whoa. Well, it's just an old magazine, right?
Yep.
And I did find somewhere that in like the film notes it says late 30s, early 40s. It's just a generic.
I think, they're just given that time frame.
Anamorphous.
Nice.
Yeah.
So got that nice middle America look in those times right there. So, so we have Ralphie. He's got his brother Randy, lives with his parents.
The old man.
Basically, it's a snapshot of his pursuit at Christmas to get the perfect gift.
That's right.
And then, you get to kind of see everything that goes on around that. So we've all been there to try to find the perfect gift, right? What was the perfect gift for you when you were a kid?
Oh, wow.
What was something you asked for that you were like, I want that?
I remember asking for an Atari 2600.
Oh, nice. Did it materialize?
And it did.
Oh, nice.
It did,
Wow.
yeah.
What did that? Do you remember that feeling on the Christmas morning, or did you already feel like you were getting?
No, I will tell you what my parents did. My mom was kind of the creative one of the family, and she actually, it's still floating around somewhere. There's a Polaroid picture of the Christmas tree.
Oh,
it's all set up, and it's and there's a red and white gloved hand reaching into the picture. And then that was left Christmas morning by the cookies.
Oh, nice.
For the longest time, that was evidence that it was real, man. So,
and what about you?
I did not have any evidence like that.
No, did you have like a gift that it was like your desired gift?
My desired gift. Let's see here. I remember one year we got towels.
Oh.
I was telling my wife that story
I'm
earlier.
not asking what you got. I'm asking what you asked for. You didn't ask for towels.
Mine was probably we got the Super Nintendo. We never got the regular Nintendo. We skipped straight to the Super. I still have it to this day.
Nice.
Still works.
So mine was, I remember when I forget the age, but I wanted the Castle Grayskull for He-Man. I wanted that toy a lot, and I asked for it, right? And so there's a big present under the tree. So I get all excited. I open it, and it's the box. And I pick the box up. It feels really light. So my dad thought he was funny with these things. So open it, see what it is. And you open it up, and inside was a T-shirt. And so he was like, oh, did you think you were getting the Castle Grayskull? We just used the box for wrapping because it's a good square. And I was like... And so right at the end, he pulls it out of the closet and he goes, "Oh, look, I found this." And I'm like, so he would do that often. He was also the guy that would wrap 6 boxes.
Oh, yeah.
So you could get to
A
the
box
final.
inside of a box instead of a box.
How insufferable is that? Just give me the present. Come on. But he would do that. So I was all excited. Then I was crushed because, look, there's nothing worse as a kid. I don't care how great that T-shirt was. When you think you're getting Castle Grayskull and a T-shirt's in the box, like I couldn't kick that far enough away from the tree. And I don't want to open any of these other presents at that point. So.
He was like Ralphie and Randy, just throwing the socks.
Just, get it's out of here. So
Socks.
socks are like, those are, I've always thought of those as filler. We would get socks at Christmas. And they're just filler presents. Like, so it just seems like you have more things under the tree. I would just rather you give me the 6 or 7 good things. I don't need the socks. I don't need another Brute aftershave kit. I don't need any of these things.
That was the thing your mom used to give me every year was it was this little kit. It was Old Spice. And it always had a little bottle of aftershave, a little bottle of cologne, and one other thing. What was it?
Apparently she thought you were like 47 years old already.
Every year.
Who's wearing Old Spice?
And I still, to this day, in our bathroom, I have, because I haven't used them all. I'm still using them.
Why?
Because I'm
So
an Old
do you
Spice guy.
use Old Spice?
Yep, Old Spice.
Wow. Do you do the...
No.
So, all
Yeah,
right.
I still
well,
got a couple bottles left, and those are from your mom. So,
Nice. All right. Well, jumping back to Ralphie. So we all had some sort of present we were looking for. It looks like we might have attained those presents.
Yep.
So here we have Ralphie, as you said, played by Peter Billingsley. And pretty good casting choice here, I think, right? It's hard to think of any other kid in it because it's such an iconic film. But, you know, it's kind of like Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin. Who else is in that part?
Right. Yeah.
Well, they tried, and it sucked. So they tried other kids. It didn't work. So.
I read somewhere that Sean Austin auditioned.
Yep.
And
Saw
then
that.
a couple other guys that they're in my notes. I can't pick them up right now.
I saw that like thousands of kids auditioned, and Peter Billingsley was the first kid. And they did what, like 8,000, or I don't know if it was that big, but it was a lot of. And then they were like, "Hey, that first one seems right.
Let's go back there."
Like, seems like you wasted a lot of time on that." But they went back to him. Well, Peter Billingsley, I read, so dedicated to the part where he had the chewing tobacco. He actually was chewing tobacco
I read that.
in the rifle scene.
Yeah. Got sick.
And it made him dizzy and burned his lips.
Yeah.
So whoever's responsible on that set as an adult, you are fired. Like, why would you even let him do that?
Well,
He's like 10.
Well, did you see what
Yeah,
they
go
gave
ahead.
him? The alternative was raisins.
Yeah.
They had him chew on raisins.
Just do that. That would have been much better. So,
That's funny.
yeah. So, let's see. So as we go through the movie starts out, obviously kind of the rotation of the movie is from the beginning, he's trying to give the hints of what he wants for Christmas, which is this red rifle BB gun, to which he keeps running into the same answer. You'll shoot your eye out. Right.
Yeah.
So, how does he, and then he creates all these ways to get around it, whether it's in school, at the the department store. He tries to trick them by saying, "Oh, I'll take some Lincoln Logs."
Some Tinker Toys.
Tinker Toys. That's what
Tinker
it was.
Toys, yeah.
I
Tinker
don't know
Toys.
who wants Tinker Toys.
Oh yeah, that was the breakfast scene. And that's where we meet the old man. And,
We meet the
or
old
he
man.
Sees, was it Schwartz saw a grizzly bear down at Pulaski's candy store, and he tries to play that off like it's
So we have some traditional roles here in this movie. I would say in 2023, not everything's great. The 2 kids and the dad sitting at the table, kind of tapping a spoon to demand more food, and the mom has to get up and get it. Like the kids don't get up and get their own food. The dad would never put anything in his own bowl. So now in the 40s, that's probably accurate. But nowadays, it doesn't look as great as it used to be. So,
Well, did you notice they were sleeping in separate beds?
the classic
They
Two
had
twin
They had the
beds.
2 twins beds.
2 twin beds. So, Peter and Randy are the evolution of the beds having a push together night, right?
Push together.
Yeah. How does that work?
So, well, you'd have to do the push together. You've seen Son-in-Law. Whoop, whoop. They're going together.
Yeah.
That means it's a good night.
That's right.
So, well, let's see.
I was going to
Go ahead.
just to go back.
Yep.
At the opening, it says downtown Homan was preparing for its yearly Bacchanalia of peace on earth and goodwill to men. I had to look that up.
What'd you come up with?
Bacchanalia is a Roman festival of Bacchus.
What is that?
Celebrated with dancing, song, and revelry. Bacchus in Greek mythology was the god of wine and vegetation.
Oh, nice.
He showed mortals how to cultivate grapevines and make wine as the son of Zeus. Bacchus is usually characterized in one of two ways. First, as a god of vegetation, specifically of the fruit of the trees.
Nice.
So the Bacchanalia
Nice.
of peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Wow, no one knows that about the Christmas story.
Now you do.
Until Rob told us.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you.
is perfect.
Thank you for that information.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, you know, earlier you had said it didn't do well in the theaters.
Yeah.
Didn't make a lot of money. Well, that might be because it wasn't released in the theater during Christmas.
I read that.
It was
Check it out.
released the week before Thanksgiving, and they said it sat over the 2 slowest weeks of the year in the movie. They think had it been released later towards Christmas, it would have done much better, but everybody had kind of forgotten about it by then. So they think they could have got double or triple more of the money then. But 83 is a good time for it to kind of crater at the box office because videotapes are a thing now. So people are starting to have VCRs. So then the home video gives them a second option. And that's kind of where it becomes its underground Christmas classic, right? So another thing I saw is before this, a lot of your Christmas movies were more adult themed. They're from like the 40s and 50s. There just weren't a ton of others. I mean, you probably made a few in the 60s, 70s, but they're kind of small one-offs. The big ones, the It's a Wonderful Life's, Holiday Inn, White Christmas, those are all, much earlier time. But after this movie came out, I think they saw, particularly once it did well with the videotape stuff, they saw there's a family element we can now tie to Christmas movies because in the 80s, Christmas movies start to become a thing. Scrooged, Christmas Vacation, you got Muppets, Christmas Carol. You got all these kind of, things that pop out. Why are you laughing about the Muppets Christmas
Everybody
Carol?
loves the Muppets.
Isn't John Denver in that? Yeah.
We had
John
that.
Denver's
We
full
had
of
that
shit,
album.
man.
We had that album.
Nice. So so
played it.
you can almost say that they kind of spawned the future. You wouldn't have your elves in all these movies maybe if it wasn't for A Christmas Story, right? So
And I think there's an element of this movie that why it appealed to like my dad. My dad likes this movie, and because I think it reminds him of his childhood. That he wasn't that age in the 40s, but I think that it paints a picture of what life was like in that for our parents' generation and their parents' generation. So I think they did a really nice job, I thought, of
capturing that time frame.
It looked like the time.
I mean,
the cars and the
cars are
houses
good.
and the setting. They just did a really good job, I thought.
We'll assume the clothes are good. I wasn't alive then, so I can't verify that. But I guess from historical pictures and things, it kind of looks good.
I love the clothes the kids all show up to school in. Scott's got the bow tie and everything.
They used to dress up to go.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the movie when they go out to eat, they're literally in suits and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't wear suits. People wear sweats to eat out now. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Well, and they would change it. You had your eating clothes and you had your school clothes and you had there was you had your work. You had your work. You okay over there?
I'm allergic to whatever you're talking about. Instantly.
You had your work overalls and you had your in town overalls.
Yeah.
Do you see what happens when he starts wandering off on these? You have your this, you have your that. I'm allergic to
He's
that.
trying to cover you.
ramble, and I sneeze. All right, every time because you just are. You sound like Bubba from Forrest Gump. You got your work clothes. You got your play clothes.
That's
You got
all
your
I have
working
to say
clothes.
about that.
You got your going to the store clothes.
That's all I got. That's all I got to say about that. Wait, I have one more thing.
I got one more thing. Oh, that's my change tire clothes.
I push my beds together clothes.
The bed together's clothes.
There's no clothes.
There's no clothes on that one.
And that's when you do the transition an hour later.
An hour
Still talking.
Yeah, 2 hours later.
Rob's got one more thing.
You guys are jerks.
So, I saw.
I hate all of you.
We love you, Rob.
I couldn't find it online or anything
Should've
where
looked
I really
harder.
wanted to, but there was a deleted scene where Ralphie rescues Flash Gordon from Ming the Merciless.
Yeah.
Didn't make the movie, but interestingly, Flash and Ming are listed in the end credits.
I did
So they're
see
in the credits, which I've never seen that. I'm going to actually look for it next time I watch. But I don't know if that would have gone well. I'm assuming that was one of his dreamscapes. But that's weird too, because Flash Gordon came out in like 1979, and this is supposed to be in 1940. Why would Why would Ralphie be dreaming about Flash Gordon?
Just because.
Okay. All
I
right.
like there was a second fantasy one where he was rescuing Santa Claus from Black Bart.
Oh, yeah.
Another dream sequence.
Another dream sequence,
It didn't make it. So
All because they wanted it to stay at 90 minutes.
that's right. Don't want it to be too long. So nowadays, they don't care. 2.5, 3 hours. As long we get everything in. And then you get the director's cut and be like 14 hours long, right? So
Well, now they say 90 minutes, but we're going to do 4 more after that.
that's true. This would have been a trilogy.
Yeah.
The first one would have been like him in school. And then the second one would have been like all about him getting to the department store in The Wizard of Oz. And then the third one would have been actual Christmas morning.
Well, to be
That's
fair,
right.
there's
We would've broke it up.
4 of these movies?
Yeah.
that seems like a lot.
Well, there is. There's one where he's getting ready for the
Yeah.
prom.
Yes.
There's one when he's a little older, and then
Yes.
there's the new one that just came
Well,
out.
there's a summer one. Ollie Hop.
There is a summer one.
Haven
Yeah.
of Bliss.
Kieran
That's-
Culkin is in one of them.
What a title, by the way. Who wrote that down? You're fired.
Yeah.
You're
Like,
And it was a Canadian show prior.
yeah.
There
Like,
were the characters were in a show prior to the movie as a
yeah,
popular
but you didn't
series
have
in
to.
Canada.
You didn't have to be that weird with the titles. Just go A Christmas Story, Summer Break. Like
Well,
it wouldn't have been
well,
difficult, right?
I mean, you look at Gene Shepard's writing. He's using things like their yearly bacchanalia,
are you
mechanized electronic joy.
are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
downgrading Gene Shepard's writing?
No, I love it actually.
Okay,
I think it's really good. I want to buy the book.
really
now.
good.
I want to buy the book now.
Well, I think I mentioned.
I just
before,
wanna go back to the
my,
Playboys and
My
get
grandfather was a professional storyteller, and this sounds like a story he would have told.
Yeah.
He would have.
So what do we outside of Peter Billingsley? What do we think of the cast in this movie? Everybody
It's really
else
good.
seems to fit,
Really
right?
good.
They
It is
did a
good.
good job.
Yep. I like-
So the dad is the dad. I did read that they actually wanted Jack Nicholson
I read
to
that.
play the dad. How would that have gone? That would have been awful.
He would have been a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine The Shining at Christmas story, like breakfast.
Here's
You
the
know
old
what I mean?
man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a major award.
Yeah, it's major reward. You used all the glue.
On purpose,
Not a finger.
not a finger. When you see me in your
And by the
tank-
way, there would have been no flipping flapping. That would have
No,
been a
yeah.
straight
Yeah.
F-bomb and everything else going down to that damn furnace. I just don't see. I just think it's too
freeze in the middle of summer on the
it's too
equator.
yeah, it's too intimidating. Like when he's out in the street and he's like, "What you got there?" And he goes, "Can't you see it's a major reward?"
Well, I just thought it was a lamb.
It would have just like, but that guy wouldn't have said that because if you said it like Nicholson, major award, the dude would have been like,
You nincompoop.
cool, man. It's,
I'm going back inside.
yeah, I'm going back in the house. Have fun with that. So, by the way, there is a interesting scenario in when they're out in the street. That guy he was talking to, it's either him or someone around. They're wearing a Miami Dolphins, I believe, or it's some football team stocking hat. That stocking hat was printed in like 1982, and like the team didn't exist in the 1940s.
Yeah.
I think it was the Miami Dolphins, but anyway, it was an extra, and it was just what they had, so they put it on, and so
There's just some
check it.
continuity
Well,
problems.
and
no
It's
big
fine.
deal.
the Swede, the guy that's talking to him,
Yeah.
that's Bob Clark. That's the director.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They just took whoever was around.
Yeah.
They did.
So
Because that goes with another thing when they're waiting for Santa Claus, the kid with the goggles. It was just a kid that was visiting
Yes.
his grandma that worked at the
Yes.
store, and they're like, "I like your goggles, kid. Come on."
well, that kid.
Is
If that
weird.
kid grew up to be a serial
like the
killer,
Tin
I
Man.
would not be shocked. Like if I saw
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, if I
and
saw-
he just stares.
yeah, if I saw a news story like 10 years later and they're like, yeah, we found like 6 dead bodies under his house, I'd have been like, yeah, that makes sense. Like 100%.
And they all had
That
goggles
kid
put on them.
is crazy. Yeah. Do you imagine that? Like he makes you watch Wizard of Oz on a 24-hour loop, like Clockwork Orange style with your eyes pinned open. And then he comes in, do you like the Wizard of Oz? And you're like, no. He just slowly pokes you to death with things.
You
I
should like the Tin Man.
That's right.
Ralphie's response.
Red
Don't
bum on that.
bother me. I'm thinking.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
bother
the
me
witch.
thinking. I would be like, don't dismiss that kid too much. He's
Well,
gonna
he says that's
stab
the
you.
witch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, don't bother me.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
thinking.
Don't bother me. I'm thinking.
Yeah, Ralphie's very profound.
He is.
So, you know what? If you're going to use Jack Nicholson in this movie, he would have been good as that Santa Claus. Ho,
yeah.
ho, ho.
Shoot your eye out,
What
kid.
can I get you, little boy? Again, too scary. So that Santa's already scary. You throw.
I don't like the smell
but
of tapioca.
this, yeah, if you pee on my pants
One more time.
one more time. No, if you have Jack Nicholson, this isn't even the same movie. In fact, I think it's a horror movie at that point. So I think it completely changes the entire movie. So yeah, that wouldn't work at all. So yeah, but everybody else seems pretty good. So
yeah, and I like the dynamic between the mom and the dad. I think it's I think there's some reality there, because he's so frustrated with her.
Yeah,
because he thinks he's such a know-it-all, but then she's so frustrated
she's a
with
lot
him.
Smarter than he is.
Oh yeah, it's like his little puzzle at the beginning there,
I know.
And he says,
Victor, everybody knows.
She goes, "Is this one of your little silly puzzles?" And he kind of goes, "Yeah, it's one of my little silly puzzles."
Well, it's interesting. I looked this up. He looks a lot older than her.
He is.
So I looked. Darren McGavin.
They were
by the way,
17 years older.
Born in Spokane, Washington.
Oh. Nice.
Anyway, he was 61 when they filmed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's 44. Mm-hmm. That's quite an age difference. Even I know in the 30s and 40s you would marry a little bit. That's a lot even from then. Also, in this movie, Ralphie's 9.
Yeah.
So she's 44. So she would have been having him when she was like 35 years old. That seems late for the 30s and 40s to be having children. He would have only been in his 50s. And how long have they been married? Like,
right.
If they're having kids in their 30s, when did they get married? I mean, in the old days, people got married pretty young. Like, people get married like 16, 17, 18 years old. But maybe they were an exception. Maybe
I don't know.
There were no divorces then, really. It's not like you married later or anything. So they were just married for 10, 12 years before they decided to have a kid.
I was thinking Dad might have been in the military before they met up or something like that.
World War I or something? Nice.
Maybe 2.
You think we should have some kids? Hey, hon, do you think I could get a little more cabbage over here? I'm telling you, it's a horror movie.
Poor mom.
Bumpus's dogs.
Those dogs would have all been dead. I'm going to tell you something about those dogs. You would have got to see Bumpus. They would have come over and been like, "Hey, have you seen my dogs?" I saw your dogs.
I saw them. You won't see them again.
See them again. Yeah, that
turned into a Jack Nicholson.
It
pod,
has.
by the
I don't
way.
know what's going on. Well, he was supposed to be the star of the movie. Literally, they said that they got greenlit by the studio originally because Jack Nicholson was going to be the star of the movie, and then everybody was around him, and then he couldn't do it or didn't want to do it. I don't exactly even know what it is. So they get Darren McGavin in there, and they were threatening to not make the movie, but then they convinced him to go ahead and make it. So really, this whole thing was supposed to center around Jack Nicholson. So that would have been it just would have been weird.
That would have been weird.
And Darren McGavin's got his parts, but it's not a lot of big parts. Jack Nicholson would have wanted to be in way more of that movie. Like, he's not just going to let Peter Billingsley, do all that stuff. You know what I mean? So he would have, I got to rewrite some of this scripts. You know what I mean? So he would have had to been, much better off. I don't think it's the fun family classic.
Yeah,
with Jack Nicholson. I just can't. I can't put that together. I'm not saying it would have been interesting or something to watch. I just think you're looking at more of a Poltergeist style movie than you're looking at a Christmas Story.
Would have been a little more intense, I think.
I found interesting looking things up the other day. This movie never would have been made if it weren't for Porky's.
Oh, yes.
Great. I saw that.
That's right. Bob Clark made Porky's.
He made Porky's, and they're like, okay, we want a sequel. And he said, only if you greenlight this other movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're like, all right, there you go.
And he did a horror movie, Black Christmas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He has a weird catalog, right?
Yeah, he did.
Because you couldn't do that bathroom porthole scene in a Christmas Story, right?
No.
You know how he traded that out? I'm going to have you lick a light pole.
Lick a light pole.
I can't stick anything through a hole, so I'll have you lick a light pole instead, right? So
Did you see how they got the kid's tongue to stick to the pole
saw
so well?
that.
They used a little vacuum suction.
Yeah.
So if he pulled away, it wouldn't actually come off.
my question, though, is when he comes back to class, they get this big tape on his tongue.
But it's in the middle.
Wouldn't they have just poured water on it and it would have come off?
Yes.
Did they physically rip him off of there to where it was bleeding enough to put a bandage? Because that's
Triple dog darius.
because that is really bad by the EMTs.
I like
yeah.
how
All right.
the bandage is around like the middle of his tongue, but it was the
tip that he
of the
stuck on
He
it.
tipped it.
I didn't understand the point of wrapping the tongue. What
And
did that do?
Just so he could talk
And not
funny.
one kid, hey, teacher, the flick stuck to the
Oh, well, little
Flagpole.
Ellen Grace
Flick was dumb enough
Well, no, but that
she's a
was
little snitch.
But that
Little
was after she asked. She did her little point to the window, but everybody else just sat in class. You know what I mean?
Well, everybody ran to the window except for our two.
He had a rough movie. He got stuck to the pole.
He got
That
his-
other time he walks in and he's just got this huge black
Because
eye.
he got his ass beat.
He got beat hard.
By,
Farkas there.
Farkas, yeah.
Scut.
Like that was a disturbing black eye, by the way.
And it was black really fast because the school had just started and he wandered in.
And the teacher-
Flick has grounds to just kick his friends to the curb.
Oh my goodness.
They leave him every time.
Every time.
Ralphie's like, class,
Quick sacrifice.
class
he
is
could have
starting.
just gone into school too.
What do
Yeah,
you
I
want
know.
us to do? He's like, don't leave me.
Yeah, that's my thing is, why did he walk back to him? Flick had a choice there too. Flick had a free run to the stairs and he walked back over to them. So are they in that school, by the way? Like what
I
grade
don't
are
know.
those two in?
They're
They're
skipping.
those kids that kind of just hang around.
They're the ones. Yeah, the Scott.
Like, why are you 12 in third grade?
You know what I
still?
learned about Scott Farkas? Well, one, there's a band called the Scott Farkas Affair.
That sounds right.
It's a real band.
Was it good?
Well, actually, I wrote it down because I thought that'd be a great name for a
Did you
band. I
listen
added
to
it
it?
to my list of fictional bands, and it's already a band.
Did
I
you
haven't
listen?
listened to it.
Oh, okay.
But then also, when he appears, they play the Wolf song from Peter and the Wolf because Farkas is Hungarian for wolf.
You are really into your language
Look at
dissection
that.
this
You're
week.
learning
You're
today
doing a
from
great
you.
job this week.
All right.
My goodness. We're over here just talking about sticking tongues on things, and you're like, excuse me, gentlemen. That's Hungarian.
Well, next week I'll probably just do the wrong script.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, I'll
Not
make
again.
up
Might as
for
well.
it and go, wrong show?
Wrong
I
show.
prepped for the
Wrong week.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
You doing any prep is better than no prep, so that's
See?
good, right?
Yeah,
So
I do some prep.
you do some once in a while. So I read on here that Ralphie actually in the Fudge scene, they filmed it like 3 times. He says the F-bomb.
Yep.
So there's tape of him ripping the F-bomb. And they went back in and put Fudge over it. And he goes, if you look at it, it doesn't match 100% because I'm really yelling it out. And he goes, I'd been in a couple other shows. I'd been on auditions. He goes, I'd heard the F word before. So
I like
again,
that.
great set. These adult supervision's wonderful. Ralphie's yelling the F word. He's chewing tobacco.
It was
Okay.
the 80s.
Oh, it
Well,
doesn't
and
matter.
you've got a director that did Porky's.
That's
Yes.
right.
So you got to remember
Yeah.
there was probably some.
You're lucky he wasn't seeing other things there.
I like that scene a lot, the car scene, because I think to me McGowan does a good job of being a dad that's frustrated with like how you hold the.
Well, yeah.
You know, my dad. That's exactly how my dad would have
my
said
question
it.
is
He would have
this.
been like, "No, hold it like this, God damn it."
I'm with
You
all
know,
that.
and-
My question is this. I'm the dad. You're the dad. We're all dads now. Do you get back in the car and tell mom that he said the F word?
Okay, that's my question.
I wouldn't have.
That
would have been between me and him and
Yeah,
been like, hey,
yeah,
you shouldn't be saying
yeah.
that word and da-da-da. But going right back in the car to tell mom, I just wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
My wife didn't need to know that. All right.
But that is one of my criticisms of Dad, of Old Man Parker in this movie, because there's multiple times where he defers to mom.
Well, he does
like,
a lot.
Like when he's got the bunny suit on at the end.
Yeah.
And he says, "Do you want to take that thing off?" The kid says, "Yeah." And he looks at the wife and says, "Tell him to take it off."
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know.
"Why don't you tell him to take it
Well,
off?"
I think because
Well, she was the one that told him to put it on.
that's
Right.
true.
But
I
he
think-
has to tell the wife to tell him. I'm like,
But
"You're
I think
right
the
there."
setup
The
is
kids are her job.
That's what I'm
back
saying.
then,
I
so.
think that's what it is. I
that's
think
a good
all
point. Good
decisions
point.
of kids are supposed to be like his part is if somebody needs a spanking or whatever that scenario is for the dad, that's my part.
Yeah.
But you notice when they're sitting at the table, he doesn't really talk to them.
No.
And then, in the car, they're singing the songs, but he is not enjoying that,
not
right?
like
At all. He's got a lot of bad
she
looks
is
on his
screaming
face.
right
She is.
next to him.
Both
That
of
would
them.
drive me
Well,
nuts.
when he gets
All
back
three
in
of
the
them.
car, he goes, "Do you know what your son just said?"
Yeah.
And then my favorite part of that, which is really is the look on his face when she screams, and he's going like, "See, I told you,
Told you,
right?"
yeah.
And then he's like, "You let him have it."
I just wouldn't that would have been like between me and him. Like, why are you saying that word? That's not a word a kid your age should be saying, right?
It would have been, I know you've heard me say that multiple hundreds of
100
times.
times.
Don't say
Because of course they're doing the flip and flapping thing,
Yeah.
but he in real life he's supposed to be dropping actual profanity.
Yeah.
They're just not doing it for the movie. So yeah, that was my only thing with the dad was the tattling for the Fudge. Like, I never saw because he was all excited when he said, "Oh, you want to come help me?" Like it was the whole thing.
Oh, and the dad goes,
And so-
"What are you doing here?"
Oh yeah.
That's the first thing he says. What are you doing out
Do
here?
you know how bald those tires were, by the way?
They were
He's
really
driving
bald.
those in the snow. I
know. Yeah.
Wow. How are you even staying on the road?
The
like
one
there
that he
was
pulled out
no
of that
traction.
trunk was
Those cars
bald,
were
bald.
much heavier than our
I was
cars,
about
so
to say,
they sunk
just
down in the
stay
snow
right
really
onto
easier.
the
That's
snow.
true.
And no chance those are going anywhere at all. So
That's funny.
yeah. So I speaking of the dad, I read in they never say his actual name. You're saying Old Man Parker, but they don't say his actual name. They said in the script as a placeholder they had Hell, although people thought it was supposed to be Hal.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not
Yeah.
sure exactly.
Well, and I have a note here that says because there's an argument to be made that when the Swede talks to him and says, people have interpreted that his name is Hal. Because he goes, Hal, but he says Hell.
Hell. Yeah.
But then somewhere in my notes, I found that it said that in the actual script, his name is Frank. And there's a telegram there's a Western telegram, and it's addressed to Frank.
What's the origin of that? Hungarian, Lithuanian?
Nope, it's from Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank. Perfect.
Yeah, no. So Frank, I think, is actually his name.
Okay. Well, everything I said they didn't have a name, but that's okay.
They never say his name in the movie.
Gotcha.
They never referred to it.
And I also saw that the Wonder Years was inspired
I did read that.
by this show. The nostalgia of growing up and everything, that's what turned into
With the narrator over
the Wonder Years with the narrator. Yeah. So that's great. What did we say before the show? We like the narration, but if we could have, I'd like to retape this with a James Earl Jones, Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Al Pacino, somebody good, just do a rereading. Maybe we can get Jack in after all and see how that turns out.
We're back to Jack.
I'd like to see a one scene take of how Jack's interpretation. He's talking to the director. So what am I supposed to be thinking here? You're supposed to eat mush and read the paper. This isn't.
How the hell did you know it was Victor?
Everybody knows that.
Oh, that's funny. So, all right. Well, you got any other fun facts or anything else you want to share about the movie before we jump into our categories?
Don't think so. I think anything else I got is part of category stuff.
Yeah, I saw that the Lifebuoy soap was made of wax.
Yeah.
So he wasn't putting real soap in his mouth.
They probably learned from the tobacco.
Yeah.
They were like, man,
when I read that,
they're
I'm
giving
like,
him tobacco, but not soap.
When I read that, I'm like, where are we drawing our lines here? It's like, here, you can chew this. You can drop F-bombs. You can't have real soap. That's not going to work for you too much. So.
Oh, I read that Miss Shields in real life was pregnant. And so
Miss Shields being the
teacher.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And so they had to, they couldn't have a pregnant, unmarried woman portrayed on the screen. So they
Too risque for the full scenes.
So they padded her other places to make her just look stout.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
There you go.
A good stout
third
woman.
grade teacher.
Just like Ufajaniah Doubtfire.
Just like Doubtfire. Also could play for the 49ers.
That's right. She was a fullback.
Imagine the two fullbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Ufajaniah and what's her name? Shields.
Miss Shields. Yes.
Shields.
Look out.
Yeah. No.
They would have beat
Esther
his Bears
Jane.
for that.
Esther Jane was the snitch.
Oh, nice.
Esther.
You're very upset about Esther Jane.
Yeah, she's a little rat, man. She ratted.
I don't
She
think
ratted
she's
out
ratting.
Ralphie.
I think
She's helping out a fellow classmate.
Flick out because he's gonna freeze to death.
All Miss Shields had to do. Well, I blame Miss Shields.
Okay.
Do you not keep track
Were
of
there
your
no
kids? We just,
recess
she
monitors?
asked where he
She
was.
has, I know, but she has asked the class. Did anybody see Flick?
Rob,
I mean,
were there no recess monitors?
Apparently not.
Paraprofessionals?
Not
Nothing
back
in
then.
the 40s?
No, I
Kids
don't know.
just went outside.
They did.
and then
It's
she
like
leaves
in,
her class.
Billy Madison. This is my special
This is
time.
my special
You go outside.
When she leaves her class to go, whatever. Miss
She's trying to help you and teachers leaving class. You're just not a fan.
No.
That's that administration part of you.
We're not allowed to do that.
That is a lawsuit ready to
What are
happen.
they going to do? They were just sitting at their desks. I think they're not going anywhere.
They
They're
could find
40s.
things.
Yeah. All right. One other thing I did see, before we're going to the categories, on Ralphie's theme, he actually misspells Christmas. It's in the first sentence.
Yeah, his writing is not good.
It's in the title.
He put Christmas, right?
No,
in the
no
title.
R. Just Kissmas.
Christmas. That's what it was.
His C+ was earned.
C minus, wasn't it?
C minus. C
No,
plus.
C plus.
C
Okay.
plus.
But
Yeah.
but yes, C plus was earned, but she didn't even highlight that or circle it or
Yeah,
anything.
no. There was no corrective marks at all.
She put C plus, she'll shoot your eye out. She took time to do that, but the easy one where Christmas is misspelled, the word of the theme, and she didn't circle it.
It might have been one of the last ones
used
she
to
was
get
going through because I was actually correcting papers the other day and it was writing. And by the end, you get a little tired of circling everything.
got you.
You're
It's
like, oh, come on. If you can even, the C plus. She probably got to that line and she just went, done.
Yep, I'm
That's what
done.
you get. You
And this
get a C+.
thing that tells time.
That's right. He doesn't know what a
called a
sundial.
clock or a
no, it's a
sundial.
sundial.
I know,
Sundial.
it's
That
a
is
sundial.
correct. All right. Well, I think we've deciphered, chopped up some of the information for that movie. So we're going to head to the good part. The good part is, of course, our categories, Rob.
Hey, here come our categories. Our recall movie categories.
And in case you're wondering, folks, we got an actual Christmas elf to record that.
That's right.
That beautiful, what is that, sonnet? Is that what we want to call it?
We'll go with
Some
that.
sort of thing. Anyway, so yeah, Kip was able to find a Christmas elf on the dark web. And so
Good job, Kip.
he serves some kind of purpose. So, all right. Well, our favorite part of this is our categories. So we're going to jump right in to the first category, which is probably an impossible mission. And that is, of course, favorite quote. And Kurt, we'll start with you.
All righty. So I've got quite a few of them here.
Of course.
And since they're all great, I'm just going to go with a shorter one. So I'm going to go with Ralphie as an adult, the narrator. Goes, my father worked in profanity the way the other artists might work in oils or clay. It was his true medium, a master. And that was right after Mom asked him where he might have heard the F word.
You know how I can tell that it's the holiday season and you're a giving person? You went with a short quote, knowing that Rob is going to come to the table, and you gave him more time. I
Well, it
appreciate
seems
that.
like I might have taken one of his.
Well, no,
But I had a longer one, but I'll see if it comes up
I got
before
you.
I bring it.
All right, Rob, hit us with your favorite quote.
No, I thought it was, but it's also about Dad's profanity.
Oh,
He
nice.
said, in the heat of battle, my father wove a tapestry of obscenity that, as far as we know, is still hanging in the space over Lake Michigan.
I love that.
Also, adult Ralphie. So, yep. Reminds me of my dad a little bit.
That's good.
My dad could throw around the language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My dad was a colorful man with the words.
My dad
At home,
did
he
not-
didn't use it, but I remember one time working with my dad in the summer, and that was the first time I was like, this is how Dad talks.
You know, when I saw your
And-
dad profanity, his dad would come home from work, get out of the truck, and him and I would be playing basketball, and he would be like, let me take you on, Rob. And they'd play one-on-one. Some profanities flying that day.
Was that when Rob finally could beat him?
Oh, Rob would beat him all the time, and he
My
would get
dad had
very
this
frustrated.
crazy. My dad's a lefty,
Yeah.
and he had this
Nothing wrong with lefties.
And he had
That
this-
weird hook shot.
He had this
thing.
left-handed hook that it went in, and it
Yeah.
was so
It
frustrating.
shouldn't.
And he just went to it every time. You couldn't defend it.
But Rob would, like, if he elbowed into him or anything when he was going to the hoop, it was so. Well, mine is really silly. You both went, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The dad's got a lot of good ones, so it's solid. I went with Randy just because it makes me laugh every time. I've got meatloaf, smeatloaf, double beat loaf. I hate meatloaf.
Yes.
I love that. I just love, and then he's digging into it at the same time, but not eating it. So I don't know. I feel like that's what a little brother would do. He'd just swirl around his potatoes and not want to eat the food. So my favorite quote. There's lots of quotes. I mean, you can go with the eyes out. You can go with
Fragile.
the free gilet. You know, another underrated one is, because now as a dad, I can appreciate when they're opening presents and all the kids are excited and all this, and he opens this one present, he goes, a can of Simonize. He tries to sound excited and he's not
Well, and the-
excited at
and
all.
the-
I didn't get a tie this year.
Yeah. Well, and the bowling ball.
Yeah, the bowling ball.
He totally plays it off.
What could this be?
He goes, oh, it's a blue ball. Oh, it's a bowling ball.
Well,
You
she
like it?
throws
Oh,
him
yes,
this,
very much.
Very much.
Well, I like her.
And then he sits back down on the couch and he's rubbing his head because he's like, what the hell?
He just wants to go
Yeah.
back to sleep.
Yeah.
So
I like, what was the one I just
I
had
like
here?
I had the whole Santa Claus scene,
Oh, yeah.
basically.
So,
that
yep.
Santa Claus
Just
terrified me. I got to be honest with you guys. As a kid, I was never excited to go to the mall and
No.
sit on Santa's lap. My parents would want me to do it. We go to Clackamas Town Center or something and say, I'm just like, look, even when I was smaller, I know that's not the dude, right? And why am I sitting on a weird dude's lap and I'm standing in line and I don't know. They're all freaky. The Easter Bunny was bad too. I don't know who came up with that plan. Like, why is it even a good plan? Hey, let's take our kid to the mall, put him on a random dude's lap. And there's no training for this job. Like, I think you just, Bad Santa's
You got a
proven
suit?
to us.
All right, you're high.
Yeah, Bad Santa proved to us that any schmo can become the Santa. So I was not a fan of the Santa lap. You ever watch or go online and look at some old Santa photos from 70s and 80s? The kids are crying like 9 times out of 10. Kids look terrified. So sit on my lap and be quiet. Not a fan of the mall Santas. I had the Aunt Clara has for years labored under the delusion that I was not only perpetually 4 years old, but also a girl.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty good one.
I still don't understand why Randy doesn't get anything from Aunt Clara.
Yeah.
He's the younger one.
Yeah.
Do you think Aunt Clara only pays attention to the older? I had one of
Maybe she just thinks she picked it up when Ralphie was 4 and she never heard the news that Randy was born.
It's
Well,
possible.
I had a relative that you would think she thought I was the only child and that my sister didn't actually exist. Yeah. Like, it was interesting.
My dad tells stories that he had was it a grandma? Anyway, that would send his sister stuff, dolls, and it was really good stuff, and not send. Or if he did get anything, it was really lame. I liked when they were in the class.
All right, this is your last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm getting cut off.
You're getting cut off.
That.
I got one
Kip's,
more. So
Kip's
I got
back in the booth giving us the.
That's
cut
right.
He's
signal.
doing one of these
Like,
because we could quote the whole movie till the cows come home. All right, I'll give you one more
in the classroom.
Make it good.
Where she's she's trying to convince the kids to fess up about what happened to Flick.
Yeah,
and they say adults love to say things like that because she said something to the effect of, if you tell the truth, it's going to be better than if you lie. And adults love to say things like that, but kids knew better. We knew darn well it was always better not to get caught.
That is 100% a kid. That's where that movie resonates so well. That is a kid quote right there.
Right.
I like how on that one, he never did anything. Ralphie never did anything. He stood there when they were doing the daring back and forth.
That's what I mean.
But he never did anything. I don't know why he's blaming himself.
That's why Ralphie is a person of questionable character.
Oh, here we go.
He's in it, but he's never quite involved.
Well, we see where this is going.
He does a good job of staying. He keeps his hands clean.
All right, Kurt, I will also give you one other quote.
Oh, wow.
Before we get out of our quote category.
That's right. So we've got Ralphie as an adult narrating. He goes, over the years, I got to be quite the connoisseur of soap. My personal preference was for Lux, but I found Palmolive had a nice piquant after-dinner flavor, heady, but with just a touch of mellow smoothness.
Heady Ross.
Lifebuoy, on the other hand, yuck.
Lifebuoy is not getting it done. Did you ever get the soap as a kid?
Of course.
Really? Soap in the mouth? Did you?
I never. My sister did.
Really?
My sister got.
You're such a good boy.
No, I just didn't get caught.
There you go.
As you've been around me and my own children, we're a bit foul-mouthed people.
That's true.
So it's not a new thing.
My sister actually got liquid soap.
Oh, that's weird.
My dad just pulled her up the sink and
just dumped it
squirted
in
her mouth.
Wow, what is going on over there?
That's bad.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, category 2. Or is it okay to move on, Rob?
Yes.
You sure?
Can go.
What else you got?
He'll come in.
I
with
got
more
a
later.
whole page of them.
A whole page.
No.
So you basically have the script.
Yes.
That son of a bitch will freeze up in the middle of the summer on the equator.
We can't read. We can't read the whole script.
All right, here we go.
All right. Well, category 2. We'll start with you, Rob, since you felt so slighted in category 1, and we'll
see
go
where
with
this
your
goes.
favorite main character. I
Rob.
think I already know your answer.
Chile. It must be Italian.
I'm going to go with Old Man
Of course,
Parker.
because you think that's you.
I also had the old man.
Yeah,
Rob.
I think his lines are really good, and I think he plays the part really well. And
I love the facial expressions and the subtle shake of the head.
Yeah, because you can tell he's a middle-aged. Well, I mean, in real life he was older, but they're trying to portray this middle-aged guy, and he's not. I don't know that he's enjoying life. He's got this naggy wife,
she's not very naggy.
Well, in his mind, I think he thinks she's a dingbat.
Okay,
and he's super smart, and his kids are, his little eye rolls and his, what the hell, what is going on here? But he ad-libbed most of his rants.
Yes.
And I tried to get what he actually said. I don't know if you tried that. I went online.
It was too much on the closed caption. I didn't want to type that all in.
So I Googled it and I was trying, but I think at some point he says platypus snot, wart Monday noodle, dag nabbit blab, smelly rot ruster or smelly mop buster. We're not sure. Bladderpuss or platypus snot grafter We're not sure. And then Grop Dumb Frattenhouse Nickel Pfeiffer.
Nice.
Wow.
We're not sure.
Watch your
But-
mouth.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
kiss your mother with that mouth.
I put
I don't
that-
kiss my mom at all. So,
nice.
I love you, Mom. But, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just think he's such a good character.
I put,
well
I
written.
put that he fixes things himself. The furnace,
kind of.
the fuses, changes his own tires.
Not good at these things.
Well, I didn't
'cause
say
he's
he
gotta
was
do
good.
it all
He
the
just
time.
tries.
Yeah,
I'm not good at any of these things, but
One
I
of-
do them at home.
One of my wife and I's favorite scenes is when it goes to plug it in and it pops and he
goes,
just,
"Well, there's just one too
well,
many."
There's just one too many. We still say it in
too
this
many.
house if we have an outlet that's too. Oh, there's just one,
There's one too many.
And-
So,
But that was and that was realistic because in those times they didn't have a lot of outlets in houses.
One
And
outlet that whole
because they
Just like
didn't
the
have
one-
things that needed it, and
yeah.
so
Well, for me, I would say as a kid, you'd say Ralphie because you're like, oh,
I don't think
I think, well, as a kid, when I'm 9, I think,
You weren't as
oh,
heady
you
as a
know,
kid, right.
I want to get the, the red rifle. I want to do it. So maybe Ralphie. But as an adult, I'm going to go the other way from you two. And I'm going to say the mom is actually my
okay.
favorite character because she's keeping the whole family together
I
here.
do,
She's making all the food. She's not a dingbat. She doesn't really nag him. She saves Ralph from, I'm guessing, a spanking at some point. And although I have questions about that, why would the dad be mad Ralph defended himself? If Ralph picked the fight, I guess you'd be mad. But if I heard that the bully attacked him and he fought back and won, I kind of high-fived that a little bit. I mean, good for you standing up for yourself.
I think if they would have let that play out, maybe different. I think Dad probably would have. The one time I remember I got in a fight, I got in the truck, front seat of the truck. Sister sitting in the middle. My sister immediately goes, "Ralph, you got in a fight."
Of course.
I'm like, "Oh," and I kind of flinched. I waited for my dad to do the backhand across the bench seat, and he goes, "Were you defending yourself?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right."
I feel like
That was the end of
like,
that conversation. I was like,
But that's what I mean. I feel like that era that his dad is in, that would have been
you
encouraged.
said, "Did you whoop his ass?"
Protect yourself.
Yeah, I think
right?
he would've.
So anyway, but she, she's helped. She's no food happens without her.
Yeah.
She makes sure that the house doesn't look stupid with the lamp in the window.
Yeah.
She's keeping it all together.
Oh, that's a good call.
She humors the dad a few times so he feels like he's in charge of the house. But the reality is he's not,
Well, and I think the scene where she intervenes in the fight with Farkas is a really heartwarming scene.
It is.
I just really like it. I think she does a really nice job. And
You going to be all right?
yeah, I'm gonna be okay.
Do we want to take a minute?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna be all right.
We can do one of those do songs so you can recoup. Let's recuperate here. Let's take a break, folks. Anyway, all right. Well, that takes us to category 3. I'll go first this time. You went. Now my turn.
Ooh.
I know you all get angry when I go first because you feel like I'm hogging the spotlight, but
You use up all
There we
the
go.
glue on purpose.
not my favorite scene. But all right, that's good. So, category 3, favorite scene. I'm going to say, again, as a kid, I liked the department store scene just because I thought that the slide looked like fun. You're landing in the cotton balls. Looks like a whole thing. Santa's terrifying. Don't like that. But the slide looked pretty awesome. As an adult, I liked the end of the movie. Sitting quietly in front of the window. They're drinking wine in front of the tree. The kids are in bed because I know what that's like now.
So thoughtful of you today.
Holidays are over. You relax. Kids are sleeping.
Rob's going to show us his notes.
It's kind of the mom and the dad's moment to kind of have a time together. You have all these scenes, but as an adult, I'll say that's probably the best scene is just kind of that you take a deep breath and go, we made it through the holidays. Like the kids are happy. Everything works. So
I was not prepared
I'm
for
usually
that.
silly and I'm usually funny with these things, but I'll take a serious turn
Wow.
and I'll say,
What does this pod come to?
I know,
my last
it's
time
crazy.
here.
Yeah, it's your last time. I quit. So, well, my responsibility as the voice of this podcast,
There it is
to make sure that it's not all fun and games. So I'm going to go with something serious. And I'm going to say as an adult, I like the scene where they're looking out the window at the end of the movie.
Rob's
So
flabbergasted.
Kurt, let's let him pause here because he's
If I
awestruck.
would have done that,
So you're up, Kurt. No, it's Kurt's turn.
you would have
You're up,
razzed my
Kurt.
ass about.
And Kurt, you're
Well,
up.
he likes your ass.
I do like razzing.
I am speechless.
Oh,
Speechless as he talks.
I'm sure he'll have plenty to say.
He out-robbed Rob.
All right.
Oh, just wait. I have something for you later.
Crap.
All right, Kurt.
That's my goal in life is to out Rob.
Give us
Rob,
your
Rob.
favorite
All
scene
right.
or event.
Mine was not heartfelt.
Oh, nice.
Mine was not thoughtful.
Good.
Mine was the arrival of the lamp.
Perfect.
Okay.
Just because
Can't fault that.
I love how Dad was overcome with art.
Yes.
Randy standing there just shit all over his face.
Oh, love it.
From eating like the piggies.
I love big eating.
I love pig eating.
I love big eating. I eat like a
good.
pig for dinner.
It's good. Let's see here. I'm still trying to figure out why he just jumps in the box when he has no idea what's in there. He could have broken anything.
Because he's kind of. Well, he thought they were going to send the whole bowling alley.
He thought he was getting
no,
a bowl
not the
in it.
bowling alley. Just
Trying to play that up.
sakes.
In a
I
box.
didn't mean the whole bowling alley.
There was a continuity
Do you-
error on that. They bring in the box. It's got a rope around it.
Yeah.
Change the camera.
Gotcha.
It's gone.
Do you think, from a reality standpoint, now he's going to revel in his victory, but there's a little part in the back of his head that says, this sucks. Like, this gift isn't
I wanted
good.
a bowling alley. I got a damn
Yeah, I got a leg
with
lamp.
fishnet stockings.
Now, I'm going to pretend it's a real thing because I don't want to give it away to the wife, but there's a small part in the back here. If that was me, I'd have been like, really?
See, I disagree.
There's like
I think-
100 things I could
I
use
think he was
for
a bit
this.
of a shyster, and I think he liked just the idea,
Just
like his little
of
puzzles.
winning anything?
He liked winning things.
All right.
And I've had relatives like
Mine
that
does.
that
Okay.
are
See?
always putting in for prizes when the Pepsi points were. They were always doing the Pepsi points, and they were like, "I got this coat from Pepsi." And
Do you know how I know he's upset about my scene I chose? He's over there with his arms crossed, all
He
confrontational.
was showing me papers. He had the same one.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Well, before
you're gonna
you
have to
say
figure out
anything,
something.
you have anything else you want to add to that, Kurt?
One of the other parts Mom just gets squished up against the
yeah.
wall. and
Watch out
he's
for
like,
the lady.
Watch out for the lady.
Watch out for the
I was
lady.
like, why did you go back there, woman? You knew they were bringing this stuff inside.
She hated it so much.
She got over it. She figured it out a way around it.
I'm sorry. All right, well, good scene. The lamp scene, can't fault that. That's a
It's
great
the
scene.
classic because everyone
Classic.
knows the lamp.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Ooh,
They do.
pee again.
No, that was me.
Careful
Sorry.
with the peas. Oh, okay.
that was
All right, Rob.
Everyone here's got a hard pee.
So, category 3. That seemed like the fudge time, but you missed it again, as usual.
Oh, hard pee.
That's how we indicate inappropriate language. Anyway, Rob, that goes to you. Favorite scene or event? Keeps cutting me off here with his buttons today.
Yeah.
So
No, I am shocked.
shocked.
I picked the exact same scene.
Of course you did. You're a copycat. That's
Christmas
what I like
night
to call
scene,
you.
following Christmas dinner. Lights are off, Christmas trees going, music playing, snowing outside, kids are in bed. All is right with the world.
You're not very original today, Rob. There's thousands of scenes. And you just had to do copy mode.
But if I would have picked that one first, you would have given me shit about.
Why? I just gave the same one. Why would I have given you? What are you talking about? Stop pushing the buttons.
Damn, Jack.
All right. So that's 2 votes for the
Heartfelt
scene at the
scene.
end, heartfelt. And the leg lamp gets a vote in there too. So we'll say as a consensus, the best scene is the end of the movie.
If you say so.
There you go. So
Not a finger!
he loves that. All right. Well, category 4, best Christmas gift. I'm going to let you go first, Rob, so I don't steal it from you this time. Although you're not going to have my answer. But go ahead, hit it.
You let me go first now, and I got the dumb answer.
Well, that's not my problem.
might
No
be the
answer
same as
should
me.
be a dumb answer.
I went the BB gun.
Of course you did. Let's be as obvious as we can be.
I went.
I went with a baby guy.
Let's really work hard on this. Let's think about it.
I tried
real
to
well.
think of other gifts. They didn't get a whole lot. I mean,
I robbed this category, so I'm going to explain to you mine. You're going to love it.
Here we go. Crap.
What do you got?
Okay, I had a
Craig?
couple to choose from, but I
Okay.
went with the Zeppelin just because I love the Randy's line, "Whoopee, a Zeppelin!" and then he's sleeping with it, and
I am so that's crazy. I have the Zeppelin. It's for Randy. So I
I took
put
it, and he said, "I wouldn't
yeah,
take it."
I said right here, I said no one in the house is more excited about a present than Randy for that Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Not even I even put Ralphie is not even that surprised about the BB gun. Like I think he kind of expected it. And when he gives it to him, he says, "All right," but the sheer joy on a person's face, no one was happier about anything than that Zeppelin. And he's sleeping with it at the end. He's sleeping with it under the tree. Like it doesn't look like that fun of a toy.
Yeah.
It seems like a one-trick pony. But Randy's pumped. And
Well,
so
and Randy made out good because those
yeah.
trucks were for him. I
Yeah,
believe.
both trucks.
And
Well,
I mean,
I'm sure
Mom
the
made out
BB
good
gun-
too. She got a fly swatter,
yeah.
I saw that.
the gold fly swatter.
I'm sure the BB gun in 1940 was not cheap, so you had to give Ralphie a few less gifts. And little kids, you load them up. They can be $2 gifts, $5 gifts. They're just happy to open things. So he had a Frankenstein mask, it looked like, in there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You know,
And I read somewhere that said that
tabletop pinball machine they had.
yeah, that the Frankenstein mask that they used in the movie was like a 70s version of Frankenstein,
Of course.
or something like that. So
I went with
yeah,
the
I feel
Zeppelin
bad
too.
for the mom. She got the fly
swatter.
swatter. I mean, the dad got her. Well, I'm assuming that's from dad. It could have been from one of the kids.
Maybe I was
going
gonna
to
say the kids might have got it.
You know.
All right,
fact
Rob.
that-
Well, category 5, we're going to your favorite thing, food.
Oh yeah.
We're going to start with Curto on this one.
Ooh.
And we're going to ask him,
Just call me Curto.
Curto.
Okay, I'll go
Yeah.
with it.
Cool. It's your holiday name.
Okay.
It's
Kind of like a superhero. He flies in, he decorates, he leaves.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's great. You put lights up
Sounds
on the
gross.
house. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Curto. Yes.
Triple dog dare you!
To call me Curto. All right.
No.
So
All right.
you are just pointing out that the voice messed up.
That's
right. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But I'm going to call you Curto for the
voice.
rest of now, just
Thank
because you've made it a silly thing.
I like it. I like it.
So best meal, Kurt.
I went with the Chinese food dinner
Oh,
okay.
nice.
with the Peking duck or the Chinese turkey as they call
Is
it.
it or Peking duck? Which way are you saying Peking?
I'm saying Peking.
I think it's Peking.
Is it Peking?
What do you think, Rob?
I always thought it was Peking,
Okay.
but is it pecan or pecan? Pecan? Pecan?
I think
peckin.
that's
peckin?
your apples to apples or whatever you're gonna
Acorn
call
or
it.
acorn?
Potatoes, potatoes.
Oh, no, it's potatoes, tomatoes.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
Yeah.
Very profound.
Yeah.
Where is this going?
So you're going with
I went
the
with
Chinese
I
dinner.
went with the Chinese dinner.
All right.
If you ever come in here and ask that again, where is this going? I'm going to kick you out.
All right.
Because like at some point, like you honestly think that there's
Gentlemen,
like
where's this going?
There's
Yeah.
a subtle outline of where
Come
we're
on,
supposed
we
to
have a
go.
subtle
is
schedule to stick to here.
subtle is an understatement. We walk in here and we push
All right.
record and we go,
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
that's right.
All right. Well, I went with the meat.
We did a
loaf.
30-minute riff on Jack Nicholson being
A little bit.
Mr. Old Man Parker. So
Well, he was supposed to be.
at this people listening going, yeah,
Well, I
anything
went-
could happen.
Yeah. I went with the meatloaf scene. I like meatloaf.
Double beat loaf.
And 2, any meal that can turn a kid into a pig while he's eating, I'm signed up for that. Let's do that, right? I just want to watch him snort. Although I feel like we got to be ready to administer some CPR or something because those potatoes go up that nose. He's not going to be breathing too good.
Well, they're mashed potatoes. They're soft.
Still, it'll clog.
They'll be fine. My daughter used to do that all
And
the
if the
time
gravy gets
because
in
she
there, it'll
loved.
coagulate, and then he's just all crammed up.
My
It's
daughter
really
loved
bad.
this movie when we were little, so it was a thing at Christmas time with the mashed potatoes.
like a pig?
She would do that
Nice.
until she was like 7.
I
or
like
8.
it.
And she did.
And now I
she
do.
turned out all right.
To be
And now you
fair,
do.
to be fair, you and I go to lunch with Rob all the time. He still eats like that.
Well,
Well, I didn't know there was another way.
I like when he puts his
puts
hands,
his hands
behind his back, and just goes into it.
that's
right?
scary. We had the same thought right there.
All right, Rob.
Well, you were the one that won the ice cream eating contest when you were little.
did. That's not easy to do.
You look like a deranged Easterwood.
I beat a couple of adults for that. So, all right, Rob, best meal.
I went with the meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
God, you're just a
He has it
copycat
multiple
today,
times.
man.
Yeah, the family, well, minus the red cabbage. I don't know if I could do red cabbage. My mom, but this reminded me of a meal that we had a lot. Is meatloaf, mashed potatoes. That was.
You notice
the staple.
coincidentally today, every time he goes after me, he has the same answer I do.
It's weird.
Odd, I think.
Nobody's choosing. And then every time you go after me, you choose the same
That
thing.
happened
It's
once.
Finger!
So just stop. It happened one time.
One time.
All right, that takes us to category 6. I know it's gonna be your favorite category. Rob, we'll let you lead off.
But if you do come back, you'll be pushing up daisies.
You're a little erratic with the buttons today.
Hey, that was a dream sequence.
Yeah, we'll
That's
let
the
you go
next
first.
category.
And this category is best Ralphie's, your favorite Ralphie dream sequence, Rob.
I'm going to go with the soap poisoning.
Oh,
nice.
damn you.
Yeah,
That was mine.
It was it.
It was.
It was also mine.
Ooh, we got a triple play soap
We
poisoning.
have a threesome of soap poisoning.
Was?
So poisoning.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's good. I think it's good because, as I always like to say, little saying I have, if you're going to have a threesome, everyone should be clean.
That's right.
So let's go with the soap
The
poisoning
soap.
and go from there. No one scowls
Oh,
like
he
that.
made something clean so dirty. Wow.
You can put the soap in your mouth. You can. Never mind. All right.
Time,
Wow, no.
timestamp.
Time out.
Time that one.
Look, I just think it's good hygiene practice if we're
right.
it's just to be clean.
Okay.
So,
All
all right.
Back to the scene. I love the part where he's got the mug.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's asking for donations from his parents.
Well, I just like when he walks in and he's tapping around the door. Hey, good to see you, Ralph.
Yeah.
How you been?
Dad goes, I told you not to use the Lifebuoy soap.
Yeah, the soap poisoning. So, wow, a menage a trois of soap. I like it. What do you think, Rob?
Phrases you never thought you would use. Menage a trois soap.
When talking about a Christmas story, right? You didn't think that would happen, did you? Gotcha.
I stopped expecting things
I gotcha.
a long time ago.
Well, do you have anything else on the soap?
On the soap?
Well, that was your favorite.
Cleanse us
scene?
with it,
Yeah.
please. With your wisdom.
I liked his line. He said, I'll manage to get along.
You know, I'm a little
Yeah.
disappointed. I was expecting Rob to come
This
in here with like
lowly state.
some back research on the soap to be like, you know, it could cause some sort of. I looked it up, and they had lead in it and blah blah blah. No, but he let me down. So, all right. Well, that'll take us to category 7 before he starts turning those 37 pages
No,
of
I
his
got something.
of his manuscript over there. Jiminy Christmas. You know, Kurt and I each
Everyone's
have a
just
page of
listening
notes.
to pages flip
Yeah.
right now. Rob.
You know, you and I each have a page of notes. He comes in with a manuscript and wonders why we wander off for 2 hours talking about things. So, all right, category 7, worst character. This is a tough one. So I'm going to start with Kurt. Let's go.
Ooh, this is where I might have robbed it.
Oh, beautiful. I like it.
I went with Mr. Bumpus
Yeah.
because he never controls his damn dogs.
He doesn't. But we've never seen him.
That's really
That
good.
that's never. We never saw Barb Hummel either.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't think about the Bumpus family.
You
That's
didn't. How did you miss that?
That's really good. I would have
Sons
done
of
that.
bitches, Bumpuses.
Sons of bitches, Bumpus.
All right, Rob.
I mean, if Dad doesn't like him, neither do I.
Ooh, okay, Rob, what is your worst character?
I went with the mall Santa.
Yeah, he's rough.
I didn't like him.
Yeah, he's not very good.
He's a
I don't
jerk.
like his elves either.
No. Yeah,
They're
I even
also
put that.
some jerks.
kid.
We won't even mention the elves. Yeah.
He shakes his head.
Yeah.
I found this quote. It says, he's underpaid and jaded and tired of having his thighs crushed by a perpetual onslaught of rugrats in all sizes and stages of wetness.
Since you've brought up thighs and wetness, do you think when he gets home at night that they're kind of blistered
Chafed.
red and chafed
Oh, gross.
and damp,
gross.
moist
Yep.
even? Do you think there's some
Gross.
moist?
They're definitely wet.
Super wet. To be fair, you brought up the wet and the thighs, so
That's
you
right.
walked yourself
That's
into
all he
that
can
one.
think about is wet thighs.
I know, on Santa Claus.
Can't
That's
remember
right.
the rest of this quote.
All right. Well, my worst character.
Kiss my foot.
When I was a kid, I think I hated Randy because I had a sibling, a younger sibling, and he
Randy.
kind of whiny. And,
Daddy's gonna kill Ralph.
I'm gonna say,
I can put my arms out.
yeah, I could be. If I was Ralph, I'd be over that real quick. But as an adult and a parent, I don't like Scott Farkas. All right,
Oh, yeah.
that's an easy answer, but he's legitimately beating kids up, and no one
Yeah.
is stopping this
He gets his
situation.
shit kicked out of him later.
Yeah,
though.
that black eye, the teacher's not doing anything about it. Everyone in the neighborhood knows he's terrorizing the children, and the parents are like, well, that's just Scott Farkas. No, that's not a good answer. Let's intervene here.
Little Leon Redbone over there.
Little-
It's just Scott Farkas.
Scott Farkas, who cares? Got yellow eyes, no one cares. So, all right, well,
I actually had a backup worst character.
Ooh, yes,
Mrs. Schwartz.
yeah,
Beat the hell out of that kid.
I think
she
he
did.
blacks out.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
He like trails off. I think she
Yeah.
beat him into blacking out.
First of all,
Ah, Ma.
is this the old days where if another parent tells you what happened, that's just the end of the story?
Yeah.
You didn't even ask a question.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Just what I do, Mom. Ah, stop.
yeah, I would have asked. Like the first question I would have asked Ralphie's mom is, well, when did he hear him say it? I want to put Ralphie on that spot. Well, when did he say it? Oh, the playground. Oh, something. Let's establish this
I
situation.
did like Mrs. Schwartz go, do you know where he heard it from? Well, probably from his father.
No.
I just love. She goes, no, not that.
Not that.
That's interesting.
You can hear
So-
it going down the hallway.
Oh yeah, it's rough. Poor kid. And
he
he
got-
took a whooping for no reason.
He got blistered.
Again, and next time I see Ralphie
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to run. Yeah, all right. I don't care if you got a BB gun at all, clown. You're what you did to me for my mom. That's it.
Well, that's what I mean.
We're done
Ralphie got away with a lot, and he put people out.
He put him in danger.
You know, he walked away from Flick. He threw Schwartz under the bus.
He's making Santa's thighs all wet. I mean, there's just a lot of problems with Ralphie. Okay.
No, I want to fish a red undercover nice and you want to get my rifle.
All right. Well, category 8, I had Scott Farkas. You had.
No, not category.
Oh no, that
8,
was category 7. I had Scott Farkas. You had.
I had Mr. Bumpus,
Mr.
or
Bumpus.
Mrs. Schwartz, either one.
And you had
the Mall Santa.
The Mall Santa.
Yeah.
Wet.
Yeah, I think those are the
Thighs.
those are they're bad characters.
Yeah.
Like, would the movie be different if you took the Mall Santa out of it? Probably not. It's just an extra scene, I think.
Well, I think you had to. That was part of his quest. He had to go see.
He had to get around Mom.
The connection.
Yeah.
Is what he referred to him as.
Thinking
the
the
big
Mall
man,
Santa would tell Mom what I want. And you don't get to see the creepy kid otherwise. The serial killer.
Yeah.
All right.
With the goggles.
And did you know that when they're in line there and he goes to get in line, the guy goes, "The line starts back there." That's
the
him.
narrator.
That's the writer.
The guy.
Yeah.
He goes, "This is the front of the line."
Yeah. The
line starts back there.
Or Ralphie.
I like your.
By the way,
your
I just-
1930. The line starts back there.
Hey kids, line's in the back. See you later, sport.
Try Mrs. Havisham's freckle cream.
Starts in the back next to the unmentionables.
By the way, the 40s were a fun time where apparently you drop your kids off in a department store and just leave for an hour.
Yes.
And then come back and they're fine, just laying in a cotton pit.
Yeah.
I like how they came back like an hour and a half later when they thought they were getting in line, just going up the stairs real quick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But they're like, no,
they
they'll be
just
fine.
left them. They didn't stay with them. Other kids' parents were in line, but Ralphie's parents were like, later.
See ya. We got some last minute shopping to do.
Watch your brother.
Dad was like, I got to go buy a fly swatter.
That's right.
They got to get the alone time when they can.
The alone time.
right.
They don't.
Who cares? All right. Well, category 8, worst scene. You can determine this however you want. Scene you didn't like, you think it was unneeded for the movie, just whatever you determined as worst scene. So I'll start this one off. Right. This is tough because there weren't really a lot of bad scenes.
It was tough.
Oh, I put that. I personally don't think there's an unneeded scene.
Okay. Well,
but I have a few.
I found one.
But I have a few.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the drink your Ovaltine scene. That didn't really do a lot.
Crummy commercial.
It highlights the commercialism, probably stirred some good memories for older generations in the 80s that were listening to the radio or Little Orphan Annie. Mm-hmm. But overall, it's kind of a throwaway scene. It doesn't progress the movie at all. Nothing about getting his rifle. That didn't help that at all. So really, it's just an extra thing that got tossed in. I don't know. Like just to, if they're trying to keep it at 90 minutes, you just probably didn't need the Little Orphan Annie decoder scene. It didn't do much. So it's not even that funny.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Except Ralphie or Randy yelling about, man, you got to use the one bathroom. So
I think there was probably a social commentary there about commercialism and him coming to the realization that Santa's a farce.
I don't need that in a Christmas movie.
No, he's not.
I don't need that in a Christmas movie.
Sorry.
Let's just have fun.
Sorry, kids.
I've already got wet Santa thighs. I don't need commercialism on top of it. All right. All right, Rob, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if it's an unneeded scene. I just don't understand it.
Oh, okay.
I got into the rabbit hole of the internet trying to figure out the meaning of it. When it's
wrong.
back to the Mall Santa.
Oh, nice.
And he gets the kid he gets the wet one, and then he passes him off, and he says,
"The wet Santa."
He says, "I hate the smell of tapioca."
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean,
the kid either had it on him.
I don't know because I found
Maybe
one
it's the
quote.
time of tapioca.
I don't know. I found one quote on a chat, and somebody said, "If you grew up in the 50s, you would understand that reference."
Oh, okay.
But I looked for it, and I couldn't figure out what it meant. And so the only thing that I did find is people saying, "Well, it's all these kids eating candy, and they throw up, and so they smell like." I don't know, but I just didn't understand the meaning of that.
What's your feeling on tapioca pudding?
I like it.
I do like it as well.
I do like it. I like
gross.
I'm not upset about it.
I like warm tapioca.
Yeah, warm tapioca is good.
Heat it up. It's right off the stove.
It feels a little snotty, but tastes good.
I love
That's
it.
disgusting.
I got you.
I love it.
All right.
I'm a texture guy. No, thank
I
you.
got you. Yeah, you are.
No warm snot for me.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with warm snot. Let's recap this show. Warm snot, wet Santa thighs. All right. Anyway,
And Jack Nicholson.
And Jack Nicholson. This has been fantastic. No one
Award-winning.
I can guarantee you. I will
Pod
guarantee.
Awards, all
I will
about
say. I will say right now on the record for everyone listening. Many people on podcasts have covered A Christmas Story.
Not-
I guarantee you. Snot, wet Santa thighs, and Jack Nicholson have not been the predominant forces of those shows. So I guarantee no one has spent time on that. See, we find those extra parts of the movie that no one thinks about. So, all right. So that brings us to you, right?
All right. The one that I came up with, it was short. It had some funny moments, but when he's bringing the giant fruit basket
Yeah.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
I mean,
100%.
they do the whole running away from Scott.
Yep.
They're at school. Here's a fruit basket.
Yeah.
I want to get a good grade. Run home.
Yeah.
Again, he's trying to manipulate the system.
Manipulate.
got that.
And I want to know, Mom and Dad did not pay for that giant fruit
Yeah.
basket in the middle of winter. There is no way.
You would have had to
Yeah.
ship that in from Florida.
Yeah.
And what would that have cost in 1940? There were pineapples in it. That was like a thing then. Like that's like getting a macadamia nut in 1940. That was like $50 for a pineapple.
Yeah.
Like where's that coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like his parents were like running him down to the store to pick a gift out for Mrs.
Yeah.
Miss Shields and having them go, oh, that seems appropriate.
Why do I gotta
Sturdy
get
Miss
fruit
Shields.
for the damn teacher? I don't know. Why would
she
you
needed
need the fruit
because she
basket?
was so sturdy? I
Just
don't
bring
know.
an apple. She was sturdy. You're not getting sturdy by not eating an apple a day.
Take your damn apple.
Oh my God.
That is it right there. So, all right. Well, that takes us to our category 9. Our last category, you're probably thanking us for getting to that. Least believable event or scene.
Like, please, for the love of God, make this the last
What
category.
is the least believable event and scene? Kurt, start us off. What do you got?
I went with not the fact that he's beating on Scott, but the amount of time where Randy goes home,
Yes.
turns around with Mom for her to shuffle on back, and then he's still wailing away
So,
without slowing down.
Here's my problem. I have the same scene, but I'm just looking at it differently. One, he's hitting him, yes, but he's got those mittens on. He's not landing any actual punches here. And if you watch it, he's hitting him a lot in the shoulders and the chest. These are not hurting Scott a ton. I know he gets up with the bloody nose, but two, Scott's a big dude. You just flip Ralphie right the hell off,
Just
you, and
roll.
then Ralphie's going to take a whooping real quick. Like, it's just not believable that Scott just laid there. Even it's kind of the dazed and confused scene. Ralphie got that first punch in, and then Clint's like, no, I'm stronger than you. This is what's happening now. Scott would have figured that out. And where was the little rat dude that's supposed to be helping him out?
Yeah, the toady.
Yeah.
Hey,
Toady.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't he a tough
Well,
guy,
he
too?
ran away as soon as
I'm
Scott-
telling my dad.
Grover Gill? Or?
He said, I got to go tell my dad.
I
telling
also
my
like
dad.
going back to Mom, who you said was so good with Ralphie at that moment.
Yeah.
She didn't give two shits about
She walks
Scott,
away.
by the way. She picks him up, turns
Pretty
around,
sure
Scott's in
leaves
the
him.
ground crying.
But I'm pretty sure Scott's got the reputation around town. I'm going to guess Scott's dad is not a great dude either.
Yeah.
Because Scott's getting that from somewhere. So I'm guessing Mr. Farkas is not a pleasant individual.
I just
either.
found it funny that Mom just didn't even look at him. Just
No.
Walked
we
away.
go.
Who cares about Scott Farkas? I don't care about Scott Farkas.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So good scene. I think same thing. I just don't, those blows he's landing. I don't know how he bloodied his nose with his mittens on, but all right.
hit him once with the little buckle on the mitten. I don't know.
Fists of fury he's got going there. So, all right, what do you got,
Well,
Rob?
I relate to Ralphie. I don't know if I've told this story, but in middle school, I was in the gym, and that was back. They made us dress down and eat.
Yeah.
And so I'm 7th grade. We're changing, getting ready for class, and I'm hating life. And
Yeah.
this kid named Joe Hall. Joe Hall, if you're listening, I doubt he is.
Oh, you went
but,
last name
He's
on
got a
it.
bone to pick with you.
Ooh.
So I'm at my locker. I'm getting changed, and Joe Hall comes up and takes my head and another kid's head, and we knocks our heads together.
Ooh,
Ooh.
WWE style.
Perfect.
Well, I'm in 7th grade. I got acne. I'm changing down. I'm half naked. Life is not good. He pissed me off. So I turned around and I just started throwing haymakers.
While
I
half
went
naked.
Ralphie on him. Yeah.
Were you Winnie the Pooh in it? Just shirt only?
So he
Beating him up in just a t-shirt.
he falls
Jockstrap and
falls
t-shirt.
over the
He's
bench.
swinging.
Hey, he falls over the bench. They
he
hold
hit
us
the
all
head?
back, and then Mr. Grimes come out and yells at us. And we.
Oh, yeah.
But the next day he came to school. He had a cast on his arm. He broke his wrist or something when
Good
he
job,
fell.
Rob.
And so everybody thought I did it.
Good.
That I broke Joe Hall's. Yeah, I went home
Oh, yeah.
because I was afraid Joe Hall was going to beat the shit out of me. So I went home.
So,
But anyway.
Turns
I
out
felt-
he went home.
I can. I know what Ralphie feels like in that moment. That fuse popped. And
just
I-
rage.
I just started throwing haymakers, and
so when you thought snot, wet, Santa
Wet Santa
thighs, and Jack
Jack
Nicholson were
Nicholson.
the end of this? No, we've got acne, half naked, beating a kid up in just a Winnie the Pooh t-shirt. All right.
in gym class. Yeah.
Great. Nothing says Christmas like Rob's stories over
That's
here.
right.
It's awesome.
It's good times.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we've gone through all our categories.
No, my least believable event.
I thought that was.
Nope. Leg lamp being even put in the
Oh,
window.
I gotcha.
It ain't happening.
You know the way
It doesn't even make it to the window.
You know the way you led into. We assumed you were
I
on the
know.
same page as we were.
He
and
just wanted to tell the
I'm
story.
just like, yeah, okay.
we gave him an opening. He drove right through it.
Like you're like that was you 100% alluded to that was your scene, but
That's what I think about you guys.
apparently he just wanted our listeners to know about his acne and
Well, I thought, I'm sorry.
naked in the
I
locker room
thought-
pictures.
I forgot that there were rules
There are rules.
in this show.
Rob, there are always rules.
Are there?
Tell us why would the lamp
Tell
not
us
be
why
put in the
is
window?
the lamp
Because
out
it's
the
never,
window?
it's not making it in the window.
No,
I have driven down a street and seen people
Seen
have
lamp in
that
the
leg
window.
lamp
But
in
it's
the window.
funny. But it's funny now.
At that time, it's not happening. But it was the 40s. He made the rules, right,
Yeah.
in the house.
Does any
and
of
she took care of it, mind you. But
do
also
the
another
neighbors
story.
really like it? Do the other neighbors be like,
No, they
Hal-
were
envious of his
Hal
major
or
award.
Frank?
No,
That
no,
kind of looks
no.
stupid, bro. Like, what
No.
are you putting up there?
It's not.
Are we
making
saying
it.
bro in the 40s?
My
Hey, bro.
Yes.
sister, when she was stationed in Germany, she sent home my dad this full size replica of the
Oh,
Braveheart sword.
Oh, wow.
It's a real
Ooh,
deal. We still
nice.
we have it now. My son
good.
has it.
Wow.
And
We ever
my
take
dad was going to hang that above the mantle. No, that
No?
was it. No, my mom wasn't
Quick
having
conversation.
Went in a glass case in the
No,
corner.
it went
instead.
around a corner. There was a wall. Yeah, and it
Now
same
people walk
idea. It was
around
n-
the corner and
yeah,
stab
It wasn't
themselves.
going to make that lamp
I
does
gotcha.
not make it to the window.
I'll take your stance on that. Is that your last?
That's my last
unbelievable
one.
scene. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, real quick then. After all of that, our categories, the information that we went over to include some of the things we talked about. Where does Christmas Story rank in your Christmas movie viewing? Is this a must watch? I'll catch it on the 24-hour loop on TBS, or I don't have to watch it every year. When I catch it, I'm fine. You don't get to talk yet.
Apparently, he's got buttons to
My
push.
goodness.
I'm trying to answer a question, sir.
Jeez.
You should take your
Yeah.
own advice and not a finger touch the button.
How about you just cool your wet thighs over there and let the rest of us do our business? So
Like a pink nightmare.
absolutely deplorable today. All right. What do you got?
Keep your hands away. I'm
Get
trying
away
to
from the
speak.
buttons.
I'm trying.
I'm going to say it's a must watch.
okay.
I've seen
Okay.
it 3 times in the last week and a half.
Nice.
I'll probably see it at least 2 or 3 more times
Absolutely.
before New Year's.
Very good. So I'm a must watch also. Well, like I said, we watch it on Christmas almost every year. Or every year.
Yeah.
We try every year. There's been actually a couple years where it's like it's towards the end of the day and we're tired and we're like, oh.
We've been up since 2 in the morning putting these gifts out.
So all right, Rob. where you at?
It's a must.
Must
it
watch.
It just is. It just
is.
exists in the
Just exists.
when Christmas time rolls around.
Yeah. So, well, then I think we've covered absolutely everything you could
And
cover on a
then
Christmas
more.
story. Do you have anything else to add, gentlemen, before we jump? Anything of value to add before we jump to the end of this thing?
Way to preface. Valuable? No.
Valuable? No.
You look like a deranged Easter bunny.
Well, if you enjoy this podcast, please take a second to give it 5 stars. Drop us a review. We love reading those. Helps the show out. Check out our website at totally80s90srecall.podbean.com, where you can find links to all of our social media sites, as well as subscribing to our Facebook group for weekly updates for and future episode ideas. If you want to get in touch with us, email the show at 80s90srecall@gmail.com, which allows you to recommend future show ideas, comment on previous topics, and ask us questions like, why are you talking about Santa's wet thighs? Right? Finally, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you'd like to see Rob and I while you're listening. We highly recommend that. We're lots of fun. Kurt will be there too on this one. So, and links to all of our social media, merchandise store, and email are included in the show notes. So be sure to check them out after this episode. Before we sign off, any other closing thoughts?
I don't think that would be wise.
Not
I think
appropriate. we'll stay out of that business then. Well, the kids have gone to bed, so that of course brings us to the end of this holiday episode. We hope we've decked your halls with our look back at the 40th year anniversary of A Christmas Story. You don't want to deck anyone's halls? All right. We'd like to thank all of our
Not with the wet
listeners,
thighs.
whether first-timers or subscribers, for hanging out with Rob, Kurt, and I. Hopefully, we gave you an hour or so of some laughs and entertainment. And don't forget to tune in for all new episodes of Totally 80s and 90s Recall every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
What
are we doing next time?
We probably shouldn't do anything, but
We should probably take a break.
what we're
Recollect.
gonna do-
We need to we should probably
Reevaluate
Let's
your
retool.
podcast.
call a meeting and reevaluate
There you
our
go.
life choices.
Yeah, Kip left half an hour ago, so he had enough of this.
He
Anyway,
said, they'll give anybody a podcast.
so we're going to be covering our favorite holiday songs, and we're back to the collaboration mode. It went so well for our TV theme
It
show,
did. Well, that got
theme show songs.
Yeah,
that we're going to do it again.
That got good. We got some good response to that.
We did.
So, yeah, people liked it.
People liked it for the most part. We got a
For the
couple
most part.
questions. but
That's okay.
okay.
That's all right.
You know, and we understand the feeling on family ties. We apologize for not including family ties.
That was
but
was a nerve.
it was a tough.
That was a tough.
Yeah, that was a tough leave for us.
touched a
But we did.
nerve.
But Rob and I were not big family ties guys. I didn't spend a lot of time with that show, so maybe it just didn't have that nostalgia. But we understand. But we'll try to do better on the holiday songs.
Yep.
Maybe they'll actually like all 20 of them.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
all
No
right.
chance.
No chance.
Oh no.
No.
No, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Don't make
mess
promises
it
you
up.
can't keep.
I'll mess it up.
Of course. You got anything else?
I got nothing.
Fancy goodbye?
I got no fancy goodbyes.
Sure. You got wet Santa thighs?
He does.
Tapioca,
But no-
Jack Nicholson.
Tapioca covered wet thighs.
I just got a great rhyme. Wet Santa thighs, no fancy goodbyes.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
but I like it.